Well, I wouldn't just focus on the stakeholders that were here, that's government, business, and labor. I think that on many levels, we are not doing enough as a society. Starting in the family, I alluded earlier on to the fact that there are people who have kids, but they're not supporting their own kids. But then you also have people who go to schools, they graduate, and they never go back to go and support the schools where they studied. And then so for me, you cannot expect government at the top to do things for people if on the ground we are not pulling our weight. So I think it becomes important that we preach this gospel of sharing that I was talking about earlier on. Someone was talking about the Freedom Charter, about this notion of, the people shall share. So I think that it becomes important that we try and encourage people to support those who cannot take care of themselves. It's the right thing to do, and for me, it speaks to the lack of sophistication on the part of many South Africans, that if you are rich, you can donate money. I studied at a Jewish university, and they get most of their funding from the alumni and Jewish families.
Yeah.
So if we can do the same thing in South Africa, I think it would make a huge difference.
I want to talk to you about the potential that investing in human capital or human development, what kind of opportunity does that present to alleviate the inequalities, social ills that we see in the KZN landscape?
Well, I think if you can get more people to acquire the necessary skills, then get more people employed in the capital-intensive sector, rather than a situation where you have the majority of the people employed in the labor-intensive sector. Because the labor-intensive sector, it doesn't pay. You have people working in mining, in the manufacturing sector, unskilled labor. So if we can try and get more people to acquire skills so that they can get jobs in the capital-intensive sector, then I think that will make a difference in terms of narrowing this gap that exists between the rich and the poor. And also you begin to expand the middle class, which is something that developed countries did to get to where they are today.
Having said that, a bigger middle class also means a bigger tax base. But
Yes.
Your opinion when it comes to the increased tax on the wealthy, will that result in a significant difference when it comes to inequality?
Quite frankly, I think taxing the wealth too much could produce some unintended consequences, in the sense that it would send a message that if you acquire wealth, then you have to be penalized for that. But I think if you expand the middle class and you reduce the number of people who are dependent on social grants, then for me, I think that would address the problem. Because in South Africa right now, we're sitting with over 16 million people who depend on social grants, and that's not sustainable. The number of people who are paying tax is going down. But if you increase the middle class, you don't have to tax the filthy rich to address the problem of inequality.